What is happening, everybody? Man, thank you guys for jumping in, hanging out with Cuz and myself. A little power hour coming to you live every Tuesday. Every other Tuesday we bring cousin Al in with us, but today just you and I.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's good to be here.
How you recover?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm actually recovering from an hour on the bike today, and I got a 45-minute run. So yeah, it's I'm starting to feel like that after an hour on the bike, I'm like, I don't know if I can do 3, but I'm getting it feels a little bit better every time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
She'll creep you up. It'll be an hour 25. It'll be an hour 45.
I'll be cussing that.
Yeah.
I'll be cussing those days. I will.
Sure. All you do, just put a movie on. That's all I do.
Yeah.
Put a movie on.
Dude, but I'm pour sweat, dude. I'm just sweating. Like, I mean, it's unreal. Like, I feel like I'm not even really working out. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm just sweat's pouring from me everywhere. Yeah. Pouring. I don't know. I mean, this is good for me though. I needed it.
Yeah, it's good for all of us, man. It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be an epic event coming up in March.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody, man. If you guys got any questions, comments, throw them into the chat. We'll dive in. Cuz, man, so we've had a crazy couple weeks. We got to spend a week in probably one of the most amazing spots on the planet in St. Thomas with some incredible human beings, and then off to Vegas last week. And I'm recovering from the Vegas crud. I lost my voice completely on Friday and Saturday, and starting to come back to life. But
man, yeah, it was a good event. That's for sure. I didn't get a chance. My wife actually pointed out that somebody had some negative feedback that posted in the group. I didn't get a chance to see what the issues were, but I don't, you get what you put into it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, what were you trying to learn? How clear were you about what problems you were trying to solve? How many people did you get in front of and talk to? And there's just so many ways to get value out of it. Out of an event that size, it would be really hard for me to say that you could justify saying that it was a terrible event. So that's just me, but I'm Mr. Positive.
Yeah. I, the gentleman that posted on it, and towards the end, he kind of owned it a little bit. And so he had turned the comments off because, and I'm glad he did, because it,
he got railed.
people don't go through and read everything. So, being an admin, I went in and I posted a comment to it, and everything that you just said right there. I said, you have to be intentional. Were you clear going into the event on what the big rock, the big challenge that you were looking to solve? And you got to go in with that purpose. And, so like Al's comment yesterday was, I had, my intent was to connect with people that I needed to connect with. And there were people that I know that I didn't know yet that I wanted to connect with. So Al was clear on his intention going in, and it was an incredible event for him. And same for me, right? I was clear on, hey, I don't have any other things, right? I want to be present for Coach Burt. I want to connect with our Canadian clients that we haven't had an opportunity to see in a couple of years, and maybe pick up 2 other additional connections. Boom. Right. So you've got to be, it's like what you said, man, you get out of it what you put into it.
Life is what you make it. Reminds me of, was that Water Boy? No. You like what? No, that's Joe Dirt. Life is what you make it. What? You like to see homos naked? Life is what you make it.
Oh, geez. Oh, I love it. Coach Burt, we do have the session on. I don't know if it's loaded in a place where we can share it just yet, but we do.
It is actually.
Did you load it in the list there for us?
Well, it's we've got a little island internet challenges here, but I'm on my 3rd or 4th time to try to load it up into Facebook. into the group here. So you guys should see it pop up. It was successfully loaded. So it just says, hey, we'll let you know when it's finally up. So I haven't seen it pop up, or I haven't got that notification yet. So it should show up here shortly in the Honey Badger group, and then I'll pin it to the top. And it's fire. If you hadn't had a chance to see that was a paid event. So thank you guys for that we're able to attend, and we're happy to share this with everybody because it was fire. So yeah, that should be shortly, and it is going into Wisty as well. It's on 12% right now, so
cool.
It'll take a little while.
Yeah. Outside of the event, and if you guys kind of tuning in, have any questions or feedback or thoughts, please chime in. But what outside of for you at the event, you were sitting in on some dinners and some sessions and things like that. What kind of aha or was something excited about moving into next year?
Yeah, so I think there's some good things in the works as it relates to the Success Mortgage that's coming, and an opportunity for all of us. Actually, I think that's going to be somewhat meaningful. So I'm excited about that. Man, it was just the energy was huge there this year. Outside of that, man, there's so many moving parts. Like, we're so big now. It's really incredible, and it's almost scary a little bit. From being here from the very beginning and seeing how big things are, and it's getting in trouble and for things that you normally don't get in trouble for. But but no, it was incredible, man. Nothing extraordinarily new that I picked up on. Some of the announcements with the growth and stuff were super impressive, but nothing that I hadn't seen already. But yeah, man, it was exciting. I'll say my one takeaway. Man, it's and for those of you who were there and we did bump into each other. If I didn't get to you, I apologize. All I can tell you is y'all can have my cell phone and y'all try to keep up with everything. It is not easy. But I tried. I felt like I bumped into everybody. I didn't get as much FaceTime as I would have liked. The hotel scene in Vegas isn't ideal for bringing people to the room, so that didn't happen as often as we probably would have liked. But yeah, I think one of my biggest takeaways is if you have a recruit, you better not send them without being there. I saw in too many situations where people start to get wise and start having other conversations, and you can't expect someone in your upline to babysit that person the whole time. It's impossible. So you got to be committed to come to the events unless something just really keeps you from coming. Like, if you're sending people there, you're sending people to go get sponsored by somebody else. That was my biggest takeaway. It happened right under some of our noses, and it's unfortunate, but it does happen. And so if you're going to be sending people, don't expect someone to be able to keep up with them the whole time. It's just not realistic. You need to be there with your people, especially if it's a whale. I highly recommend that. Yeah. That was just one thing that I noticed was a challenge for sure.
Yeah. I had Mike Collier even tell me yesterday. He said that never stop following up. There was an agent there that just came as a guest to somebody else and ran into Mike and said, Mike was like, "What? Are you here? You're at EXP?" And they go, "No, but so-and-so invited me. Why didn't you invite me?" And he was like, "Got it." So sometimes you got to touch the hot stove to wake you up a little bit. For sure. Man, going through The Gap and the Gain with Dan Sullivan's new book. In one of the chapters, he really gets into kind of decision-making filters. Man, this is so powerful. And this is kind of want to throw this out to everybody listening in as we're getting into really challenging couple months, right? With all of the distractions with the holidays and everything. But we were in that chapter, they give a couple examples, but one of my favorite examples is from the British rowing team, and they shared the story that they were horrible. They hadn't won a gold medal in the Olympics like 1912, and so as they were preparing in '96 to head into 2000, they really got crystal clear on one thing, and the one thing was, is this going to make the boat go faster? So every decision they made was rallied around, is this going to make the boat go faster? Hey, we got an invite to go to this event tonight, right? There's going to be dinner and cocktails and this.
Right.
Is this going to make the boat go faster? Hey, if I eat these donuts, is this going to make the boat go faster?
Right.
And so like every decision, and I think that's where, and you and I have seen this for more than a decade, that agents don't get clear on the goal that they want for themselves and their business. Therefore, they have no decision-making filter to filter things through, and they say yes to the dumbest shit.
Yeah, any idea is a good idea, when there's a lack of priorities that you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah. Was sitting there with David Nitze, and he said, you know what, bro? He goes, this is the first event I've come to that I haven't bought anything. And I said, really?
That's
Why
a great
is that?
point.
He goes, because I'm clear on my priorities and nothing here helps me solve what I'm trying to solve. I was like, got it.
Got it.
You got it. You got it. And I think that's the key for everybody, right? And that's why we go through. And you know what's funny as shit, man? It took me years. It wasn't up until a couple of years ago that, because I mean, you know me, I mean, I'm consuming anything and everything.
Right.
But sometimes I wasn't being intentional about what to consume.
Right.
And I think it was maybe a couple of years ago, I was like, this is dumb. And so you look at your priorities and you're like, okay, what do I need to consume to help us solve this priority?
Right.
And you know, I think that was the example. What David was talking about is that, you know, he's only consuming and only looking for things that's helping him solve the problem that he's trying to solve.
Love it. Love it.
Anything that you're kind of seeing through conversations or hearing and kind of forecasting market wise, or kind of what's happening with Zillow and all the other nonsense going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's super. With Zillow, it's super interesting. Super interesting. I mean, they just screwed up. I mean, that's the bottom line. They gave up. You know, you look at Open Door, they didn't make the same mistakes. Their purchase prices were better. Their relist prices right now are better. They stopped buying in markets that were starting to slow down growth. I mean, it's just like the compounding of just an ass whooping after ass whooping. You know, it's super interesting to see Zillow be the one, you know, to kind of come down first. But yeah, that's all fascinating. I think that just proves, you know, once again, I think it just solidifies the real estate agent in the role of the transaction. You know, that's the one thing that hasn't been able to be disrupted in all these years. Zillow having all the eyeballs. If there was any one company that was going to disrupt the real estate agent and the transaction, it would be Zillow, and Zillow threw in the towel. So like when you see that, you know, sure, there's going to be some people that go through Open Door or OfferPad, some of the others, smaller ones, but you know, what better place could we possibly be than having, you know, what we have at EXP, you know, now we have the platform for multiple offers with multiple investors. You know, we're positioned so well in the marketplace right now to really grow, you know, and kind of take a big chunk out of some of these big boys' pants, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, a couple things there that you said, and there's still always going to be those opportunities to be the investor. And, you know, if you're not positioned yourself as the investor, you know, find one to position yourself, because that offer still, you know, is going to be there. But I remember expert mentor conversation with Brian, get shit done daily. You know, those two things, he's like, it'll always come down to a decision of trust. And you know, are you the agent that's adding value, being authentic times time, being, you know, frequency and reach, being consistent to your marketplace, and depositing value and building trust. And if you are, then the decision will always be a decision of trust. And so, as agents, what are you doing on a weekly, daily basis that you're providing value and content to your marketplace, to your community, to reinforce and continue to build trust?
That is it. That is the expert advisor way.
What's this is the way? What is that? That's the Mandalorian.
Right.
This is the way. Expert advisor way.
We try to tell y'all. We've been trying to tell y'all for a long time.
Long time. What's up, everybody? Man, if you guys got any questions, throw it in. We'd love to help you guys get unstuck. We always challenge our team that if you're doing things and you're making progress, then you have challenges. If you don't have challenges, you're not doing anything.
You ain't doing nothing. Or you're not you're getting comfortable. Don't do it. Resist being comfortable.
Yeah. The whole complacency. For sure. Man, we've got NAEA boot camp in Frisco, Texas coming up in the first week of December. So attend naeabootcamp.com. Get your tickets.
Yep. I'm looking forward to that event.
Me too. Give you guys attend naeabootcamp.com. Give you guys for tuning in, give you guys the discount code for tuning in with us. So Hector, what topics can we cover for our local markets in terms of adding value and building trust?
I would start. I mean, the simplest answer is start with keeping current matters. That's my go-to for everything. I mean, there's super. You can go into layers of and use real market reports, or really that's the one I would use is real market reports to look at different segments of the market and whatnot. And but yeah, keeping current matters is as forward thinking as you can get in terms of predictions of all of the largest entities that are out there that are predicting what's going on and what's going to happen in the real estate market. So like getting everything all in one place, it's the best resource for that. And yeah, I mean, I would break that into a weekly podcast, and I would be teaching on what they're giving you to do that. So super simple. You don't have to recreate the wheel. They give you the slides. They even tell you what to say. It's super valuable keeping current matters. And yeah, you're becoming the go-to person, right? Like that's how do you build trust? You be the source and force for all things real estate. And that's how you bring the Zillow story to the marketplace and what that means and why why it's significant. And if you're thinking about selling, what you should do next, that kind of thing. So yeah, I think that's, interest rates are a conversation right now. It's, what's the expectation on interest rates? What's that impact going to be on purchasing power? How does that affect you as a buyer? How does it affect you as a seller? All of this stuff is extremely valuable for the marketplace. And if you're putting out good content, people share it, people, engage with it. And, that is building trust.
It is. Stay consistent with it. I cannot stress that enough. That right now, I know Instagram is rewarding, the algorithms are rewarding consistency, not meaning a certain time of the day. It just means every day. Are you posting a story, a reel, a post every day? And so same thing with Facebook. Are you doing something little every day? Even if it's just a story every day, stay consistent. So whatever you do. And the other thing that I would recommend, Hector, is that leveraging that maybe once a week, talking about something out of Keeping Current Matters or real market reports or what's going on in the community, but also really get excited when your clients are asking you questions. That's, old Marcus Sheridan, they ask, you answer. So be excited when when the your sellers or buyers are asking you questions, because that's a piece of content.
Mm-hmm.
And that's gold. And I'll just give you, the rundown on They Ask You Answer. Marcus Sheridan had a pool company. And what he started doing is he started, when people would come in and ask questions about their pools and things like that, he would just make note, and then he would create a video blog post, and he would just on their blog site, they just had a video vlog that answered frequently asked, with just all the questions. Everything was there. So that's a great way to not to have to think of, okay, what do I need to talk about today? Well, what questions did you get asked in the last 24, 48 hours? That's just a great way to help. Deanne, it's Expert Advisor. It's also Honey Badger. Either one. Yeah, content is the way to go, guys. You've got to be out there. You've got to be adding value, building trust. You cannot be the secret agent. You will disappear. Disappear. Oh man, our Sooners got to hand it to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought I was going to get to go to a Super Bowl and a national championship this year. Guess not.
They getting out coached right now.
Yeah.
Cowboys look good though.
Well, they did, man.
CD's special.
He is.
How's Puerto Rico?
It's all good, man. It's great.
Housing situation dialed in?
Oh, not yet. No, that's a bit challenging right now. It always works itself out. That's how I feel about it.
What can you guys expect at NAEA boot camp? You can expect to get the systems and processes, right things, right order, to be able to articulate your value on a consistent basis at any time. You're going to learn CHSA, which is a Certified Home Selling Advisor system, which was the actual system that we created to get Jay finally out of production. Took us 3 times. But with the help of the CHSA process, we were able to do that because it's duplicatable. It's not a me monster presentation like a lot of agents run with. It really is a proven and repeatable system backed by market research to help you sell your home up to 18% more than the average agent. And you're going to learn the same thing on the buy side, right? Being able to help buyers with a proven process, not be the order taker, the Uber driver, but put you in control, because it is really about asking those tough questions. And it's what we were talking about, right? Because we can't help you unless we know what it is that you're trying to accomplish. From there, we can put the best plan in place.
Good.
You're going to get a little clarity. You're going to get a little lifetime value. You're going to get a little, why you have to position yourself as the go-to authority in your marketplace.
It's the foundation for everything to build on.
So Brian's asking best tips to 10x team agent growth. One of the biggest things I continue to hear at EXPCon was shifting mindset to focus on adding people and not transactions. What are your thoughts, Cuz?
So adding people, not transactions. Depending on the context of that, I have a couple thoughts. But let me see. 10x team agent growth. Team agent growth. Yeah. Yeah, my first question is that the goal? What's the goal, right? So, 10x your team agent growth might be the goal. I mean, if your goal is to step out of production at some point, I find that it's easier to do that with 40 agents than it is with 5 agents. That's That's a tough one to answer without having a little more context with business size and where you're at. So if it's focusing on adding people and not transactions, what are we adding the people for? Because at the end of the day, if you're in production, the net dollar that you bring to the bottom line with deals that you do, I will tell you, whatever year it was, 233 transactions that I did with 4 admin versus bringing on the team, which is what a lot of people would have done. Way more margin, a lot busier. I'm not saying that's that's 100% the right answer, but that's the other school of thought is, if you're bringing on a ton of agents, who's going to be managing and leading those agents? Whose responsibility is it going to be to recruit and retain them? Who's going to be doing their one-on-one meetings? Because as the sales manager, the more agents that you have, you got to get creative about how you create leaders within your sales organization, because otherwise that person is you. And instead of you doing more production at the same time, you're adding a lot of people, but you're not adding a lot to the bottom line. So rather than just look at adding, and again, this it depends on who's saying it, right? And you listen twice, you want to listen twice, first to what's being said, and then who's saying it, and understand like there's some advice out there that maybe if the average sale price is 800,000, that it makes total sense to do. And then there's places like Lawton, Oklahoma, where if you did that, you would fucking go broke. So like you have to understand the context of who might be saying it, why they might be saying it, if they're making a couple $1 million in rev share, why they might be also saying it. There's just so many different different angles and perspectives depending on where you're at. That's why it's always a custom, kind of a customized approach to the way we look at business, because all of those variables could vastly change the direction that you maybe should take. So that's you might throw something back in here, Brian, if you are still on with us, to give us a little more context.
Yeah. The thing there is, I mean, you got to get clear on what they're really saying. We were chatting about decision-making filters. One of my favorite is just real simple 3, right? What are we talking about? What do all the words mean? And then what's the data? What's the math? What's the data? So what do all the words mean? What's the data? And then what's the ripple effect? What's the secondary impact? If I say yes to this, what am I going to say no to, or what continuation does that mean? And a lot of agents just jump in and want to grow. And so you nailed a couple really good points there. And something that we've always said is that a lot of agents in high price point markets get rewarded for bad behavior because their margins are so big that they can get away with so much more. And I had a fan. Have you been able to catch up with Jennings lately?
You know what? I haven't talked to him in a little while now, actually.
Man, I talked to him about 6 weeks ago, and he just jumped in. He just wanted to jump in the calendar, and he was just being nosy. He was just nosing around, and we got to chat. And he's at a pivotal point in he's achieving his BHAG, and billion sold in real estate. And so we were talking about resetting the next BHAG, and he said he told us one thing. He goes, one thing that I've always have loved about you guys is that you came from Lawton, Oklahoma, and that everything mattered, right? Because we were talking about all the other opportunities that he has opening up for him, ownership, pieces of other pies that most agents aren't open to. And he said, if it wasn't for you guys opening my eyes to all of the ways, he goes, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And it was really cool to hear him say that. Yeah. And I'm excited for his next BHAG, 100 millionaires. That's his next BHAG.
100 millionaires. Nice.
100 millionaires. Yeah. 100 millionaires. But he's so spot on. And we were forced to be disciplined to pay attention to every little detail. When your average sales price is under 120, you got
the blessing and the curse.
Yes.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like when the tide rolls out, you're gonna see everybody who's skinny dipping. That's what we lived in, and so the math had to make sense. So that's important now. Cool, man. Thanks, Ryan. So the another question that's in here. There's a couple of ones. There was something else related to the local team at 1,000 plus sides. They have 30 agents. So yeah, that's 33 deals per agent. So depending on who that is, I would want to see, where the sources of business are. So like if that's a Zillow agent, doesn't count. That's a whole nother business unit, like completely throws off all production numbers, right?
Yeah.
And so, is that agent in production? Is it two partners? Like Pam and Barry were two business partners that did the lion's share of their deals. They did 750 deals, but when you averaged it, they had a high average per agent because there was two of them. So
Yeah.
two of them doing a lot of production. So they're doing maybe 150 deals a piece. So it just brings the average up. So that is a high number. I think what was John? You got ours up to like 2.2 transactions per month. I think was on the average at one point
Per agent. That was
per agent.
That was standing on accountability at the highest of levels. It was exhausting.
Yeah.
It wasn't sustainable.
No. And so, yeah, I mean, you might talk to that. I mean, what it took. The only way that I see it, again, this is why I don't like talking in terms of transactions, because everything that we're discussing right now is completely useless if we're not paying attention to the net profit and what are the margins in the business. So like, you want me to attract better agents to my team, I'll give a 75-25 split. I may not make any money, or I might provide certain services or just get referrals back. And there's all kinds of ways that you could structure things that maybe that's why the production is what it is. It's rare to find, not impossible, but it's rare to find true production in a traditional team scenario of 50 to 60 40 splits where you're seeing 33 transactions per agent times 30 agents. That's very rare. So
very rare.
Pick it apart. I would pick that apart.
Yeah, I would. I think you nailed it. If there's a lower agent count with that many transactions, there's definitely some Zillow, Realtor.com. There's definitely some help that have opportunities that are close to the finish line, right? Close to making the cash register ring.
Or it could be a builder. It could be a builder. It could be an REO.
Right, absolutely.
There's some source of business that's probably offsetting that productivity and it sounds like it's a 33 per agent. It's probably not, right?
Right.
But it could be. I mean, we could be wrong. Maybe there's something for us to learn.
So that's the key there. And it comes back down to the goal, right? And you look at a guy like Gene Darden. So Gene's in Alabama. Gene runs the 75-25 split model. So Gene understands for him to get out of production, which he's still in production, his agent headcount's got to be in the mid-20s, doing an X per average per agent. And he doesn't provide leads, and he provides support, coaching, training, mentoring, administrative support, office space, right? The brand, ripple effect. And so, but he understands the model that what he's trying to do to where he can step out of production. And it comes down to what's the vision, right? We talked about this at Build Conference. We talk about this all the time. What's the goal? What's the vision? What's the goal? What are we trying to accomplish? And then it's the model. What's the best model to support for us to run in to achieve the vision? And then comes strategy, right? Because strategy is just the plan. How simple can we keep it? And are we solving the biggest problem? What Coach Burt talks about. What's the gap? What's the problem? What are we trying to solve? And is our plan solving that within the model in pursuit of the vision? And we just have to just get clear on, what's the goal. And people in real estate, they just get seduced by, hey, we're going to do 1,000 transactions. Why in the fuck do you want to do 1,000 transactions?
Yeah, ain't no joke. I had that goal for a while. Y'all remember?
I know.
I can tell you that ain't the goal.
There's a better way.
Yeah.
There is a better way. No discount code at the hotel. Just we're at the Embassy Suites in Frisco. I think there's a couple places around. I know what a few folks have done. They've come in Airbnb come in and we'll get a place close by. It's a cool spot. Perry's best pork chop in town is right next door.
Wally. What's up, Wally?
Fellers.
What's up, fellers?
Man. Somebody said, "Where's the hotel?" I was like, "It's in between the ballpark and Perry's." I need to dial in my dialogues. Any recommendations on scripts? Sometimes I have the heirs number directly, so other times it's attorney, or other times it's the receptionist at the attorney's office. Man, what's the probate company? Wally, you know it. Gaylord Road. Yep. All right. Message Miranda at NAEA.com. And I'll let her know that that is not working. All the leads. Yep. So on the probate side of things, all the leads. That's your go-to resource.
All the leads. Yeah.
BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal. What is your big, hairy, audacious goal? If you guys do not have a copy of Beyond Entrepreneurship 2.0 by Jim Collins and you're serious about growing your business, you need to grab a copy of that book. It is the yellow book, B 2.0, and Collins breaks it down in there. He talks about, so vision is three things. What are your core values? Essentially, how do you behave? How do you make decisions, your shoulds and should nots? What is the purpose? Why does your organization exist? And BHAG. What is that big, hairy, audacious goal?
What are we doing?
Three things make up your vision. You know, I just think about that with Coach Burt, right? I believe that everybody should behave with 100-0, right? I believe everybody should always add value and make a difference. So if you think about our values and you put them into the belief statements, holy shit, how powerful is that?
Yep, that's exactly right.
I don't know why that just clicked.
Yeah, that's a very simple way to state it, but it's the core. If you've spent any time building an organization, I can tell you that core values, you get those dialed in after a while.
Yeah.
At first, you just copy someone else's. Then shit gets real, and you start getting, what?
And you figure out what's going wrong, right?
Right.
And you just not who you are. It's just not how you behave.
Or you have that one hire that makes the hair on your neck stand up, and you realize that there's something that they specifically do that drives you batshit crazy. Remember the lady we had? Remember the time we had? I don't know if you remember the details of the story, but we had this lady that we had hired, and she was so good at communicating the core values, had them memorized, best cheerleader when me and Mike would be in the office, like always. But then after all that, she was a nightmare to manage, and she would and I just remember one time Megan had found on her phone, she had something like 75 voicemails, and she was like customer experience, like managing customer experience at Kinder Reese. And things were starting to bubble up and kind of move around, kind of like they did with Sandy, the same situation that with Sandy, remember Sandy herself that worked for us. The things started kind of getting around and getting to us, and we started hearing things like, well, that's weird because there's somebody that should be handling that. And then all of a sudden you realize like they just are absolutely the wrong kind of person to work with. Like you would never hire someone that purposely is just going to go home every day not knowing that there's 75 voicemails and you have no intention of ever calling those people back. Like you're just never do nothing with it. Like, but that's, then you start creating you start hiring the core values, you fire the core values, and you start to realize how important it is to dial them in, because you can't really find the right people, that tuning for finding the right people without those values.
Yeah, man, it's so powerful. In that chapter that I was talking about, the decision making in the gap and the gain, one of the examples that they give, there's a gentleman in there. He has 6. He has a criteria of 6, but his first one is, does this opportunity, does this experience, does this person, does this activity, Does this adventure, does it align with my core values? If the answer is no, then he doesn't go into the rest of the decision-making filters. It's just no, it's a cutoff right there.
No more reason to waste your time, because it might be some of the other ones, but you might try to force it to be in alignment, but it's not.
It just won't last. It just won't last. It'll be so short term, and it'll cause more pain than what it's worth. Yeah. Thank you, Wally. 2.0. Make sure you get Beyond Entrepreneurship 2.0, because the original book was written in the early 90s, and he added 2 additional chapters, one by the recommendation of Steve Jobs. So Collins asked Steve what was missing, and he told him. So he added that. It's the very first chapter. It's called People. And then it gets into leadership, then it gets into vision. So you need to get the 2.0 version. And I would listen to it on Audible, have the hard copy and then listen to it. He tells so many more stories. I love what they're doing when they're reading the books. It's almost podcast format, like Goggins did with his book. Yeah, I think he was one of the first ones to really go that route. Jocko's got a new book out. I haven't had a chance to dive into it yet.
Who's got another one, you said?
Jocko.
Oh.
Yeah, I just saw it pop up. What was another one? What are you reading right now?
Man, honestly, I haven't really dove into anything just yet.
I started Holiday's new book, Courage is Calling, but then I got over onto The Gap and the Gain. And then, of course, here comes fucking Joe Rogan and Snoop Dogg. So it takes 4 hours of my life.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing how much content that they can create, you know what I'm saying, in one sitting.
Did you listen to any of that?
I haven't gotten into that.
Snoop got Joe high as a kite.
Oh, I bet.
He was messed up. He said it too. He goes, "It's the highest I've ever been on the show."
Will Smith's got a new book.
Yeah. I bet that's incredible.
It's narrated by Will Smith too. Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Yep. Going to be good. Cool. All right, guys. If you got any other questions, feel free to throw them in. We can circle back around and help you guys out. Man, if you haven't booked your ticket to boot camp, first week of December, get it. And we'd love to have you join us in Frisco for 3 days. Jam-packed. I know you've got Cuz, myself, Mr. Wally Bressler, Bev Ressler, Jeff Kiani, and a few others. It'll be fun. It's going to be great.
Yep. Let's do it.
Cool. All right, guys. See you guys next time. Thanks, guys.
Later, man.